Welcome back, viewers, to the Preaching Humanist with David Oliverio. That is I. You can notice a little different setting here today at the studios. Here with me today, I have Virginia Miller here. Welcome, Virginia Miller.
Oh, thanks for having
she
me.
is currently the communications coordinator for the Austin Atheists Helping the Homeless. We're going to discuss that today. We're going to discuss philanthropy, all without a God, the beautiful progressive philosophy of life without supernaturalism, without beliefs in any God, which is humanism. We want to make positive changes in the world. I like to start out all my teaching and preaching, and even today on interviews, with two quotes I've learned and loved for many years. No God is required for a life of love, joy, peace, fulfillment, meaning, and purpose in life. And the good life is guided by reason and motivated by love. And let me add a couple other quotes, because I love to talk about this when I try to educate and help my Christian friends out there, that love is not a Christian, not a religious, not a biblical, not a godly virtue, but it's human. No God, no Bible, no Jesus, no religion is needed to define love, nor to explain love. I know what love is as a human. You know what love is as a human. Virginia knows what love as a human being, and no God is required for that. So today we will definitely discuss doing good deeds and philanthropic, I hope I'm saying that correctly, work and helping other people, which is the work of humanism. Working to benefit society maximizes individual happiness. And some of you, my dear Christian friends, are wondering, how can you, as atheists and humanists, find happiness in this life without belief in the Lord Jesus Christ? Well, most of us who are humanists and atheists were once Christians. You've heard my story many times in my episodes, previous episodes. I used to be a full-time preacher and evangelist, yes, preaching the gospel of Jesus. And now as an atheist and humanist for the past 23 years or so, I found purpose and meaning and happiness in life by working to benefit society and helping the needy and other people. Virginia and others who are humanists and atheists as well, we do the same thing. So a little educational time for you Christians out there, my dear Christian friends. So that's our message today. We are going to talk about that. So Virginia, as I said, is a worker and a very popular, I should say, here in Austin person who gives herself to philanthropy in the humanistic movement. And we are going to talk with her today and ask some nice, important questions, questions that some of you Christians may have. And we hope to answer those questions for you today. So first, I'm going to turn over here and change from looking in the camera, and I'm going to look right at Virginia. So, Virginia, I would like for you to tell the viewers, or just tell me, keep your eye on me, about your religious and your Christian background. So, go ahead, Virginia.
All right. Well, I came from a Catholic upbringing, baptized as a baby, and 14 years of Catholic school. Mm-hmm. So I wore the full uniform every day for a very long time. And as a kid, you just kind of go along with it. And up until high school, I started questioning things and getting the runaround most times when being answered. How do you know God exists? Well, how do you know the pillar down in the cafeteria exists? I'm like, because the building is upright. So the questions didn't get answered, and over time, after 18, I'm out on my own, and it got to be where I didn't even think about religion. It wasn't. Mm-hmm. I was a non-practicing Catholic, mm-hmm. So it grew from Catholicism to being non-practicing to agnostic to didn't believe in religion. To mm-hmm. then finally just saying, oh, heck with it, I don't believe in God, because mm-hmm. I don't see, feel, touch, I don't feel what others are feeling. It's not doing anything for me. Mm-hmm. Becoming very angry atheist, not learning what was done to me as a child mm-hmm. after discovery, to being fine with who I am and mm-hmm. and wanting to help others, and that was what made me feel like I'm doing something in this world.
Right.
And my religion is to help others.
Yeah,
if you wanna put a religion on it.
Right.
But I don't need a religion to answer all the questions that I have. I'm fine with not knowing. It's okay not to know.
Yes.
Yeah, that was my journey, and to now I do my thing, and I'm very happy with it.
Beautiful, beautiful. And the quote that you were probably saying is what I like to use was a Thomas Paine quote, that my race is human, my country's the world, and my religion is to do good. So, yeah, there are many of us out there that would agree with that quote, and we do these things. So where would you say, Virginia, if you had a Christian that were to ask you, my microphone just fell off, so let me put it back on. I'm sure you've had Christians like I have had through the years ask you, where do you get your compassion? Where do you get your morals from, your ethical behavior? Where does your compassion and empathy and sympathy come from? You're one of the coordinators and directors of this helping the homeless group that are atheists, but where does this, what's the causation, the prime mover of this love and compassion for these other people if you don't believe in God?
How can you not help others? How can you see someone be so low and you have so much and you won't offer anything? Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily God driving me to do it. It's how can you not put your hand out and help someone out of the dirt, or just walk over them? Like it seems innate and natural. It's nothing. No one has told me to go do this.
Right.
It just, I don't know, it's natural. It's a very innate sense.
Yes, agreed. Agree 100%. Yes, and I've discussed this here many times on my previous episodes, that this is innate as a social, gregarious species as human beings. We have learned by the true designer, not the watchmaker, natural selection. And I'm not going to get into all the intricacies of evolution and natural selection. I'm not a scientist, and you can find that out yourself, my Christian friends, by going to a library and reading science or asking someone who has more knowledge than I do in that. But we know as humans to love one another and to take care of the needy among us as a social species. It's within us, as Virginia said, very innate and intrinsic within us. And my question again with Christians that I've talked to, would you do these works of philanthropy to the needy, the homeless, the hungry? Would you do different charitable works, and would you contribute to charitable foundations if you didn't have a book that gives you the new commandment, like Jesus said? A new commandment I give unto you is that you love one another. I think we humans have figured that out, to love one another, to take care of each other as a social species. So my question is, would you do these works of philanthropy? Would you help the homeless? Would you go out and care for the needy? If Jesus or your book, the Bible, or the Quran, or whatever your religious book is, did not tell you to do these things. But we as humanists and atheists, we don't have tenets of faith. We don't have a preacher telling us that we have to do these things. We don't have Jesus' writings in Matthew chapter 5 we believe in that says to go out and do good works, to let your light so shine before men that others may see your good works, so that God will be glorified. We don't need to be told that. We have it within us as humans. And that's my message to you, my dear Christian friends. So I want to go ahead and talk to Virginia a little bit more. I want to ask you to tell my viewers maybe the origin of the Atheists Helping the Homeless, maybe how it started, what you do in the organization, and what happens on the Sunday mornings when we go out there.
All right. It was founded by an atheist who was Joe Zemecki, and he was basically wanting to do good and show good without God. And it was run for a while, and then, of course, volunteers are hard to find, and trying to get everyone together, it fell off a little bit, and another woman kind of brought it back from its ashes, and kind of made it what it is now. And we're very organized a lot. We have grown to having 40 people on average volunteer each Sunday that we have a giveaway. And I came about the organization through a homeschooling forum.
Mhm.
And just knowing that there was a place for me was very uplifting. And from that, I started a group called Get Naughty because I wanted to do something different instead of just going and buying something. I wanted to have a personal touch. So started to knit and crochet washcloths for them. And then found when I put that out there into the community, in the homeschooling community, into my HOA community, everybody came out of the woodwork. About 60 people started to take response to what I was asking, and then it went from there to then helping out with other things, and then now I'm doing what I'm doing.
Beautiful.
So, yeah.
Beautiful. Would you say that this is a source of happiness in your life as just a human being, one that doesn't believe in a God? But how does that make you feel when you are involved in all the many things of philanthropy that you do for other people? How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel very happy and accomplished. It makes me feel empowering to my children to see someone just doing it without reason.
Yeah.
And to know that later on from my example, they will continue on and we'll hope that that then spreads more.
That's beautiful moral education.
Yes.
I think that's beautiful. And I know a lot of my Christian friends and people I've debated through all these years, and even ex-pastors or former preachers and pastors that I have debated through the years and talked to. That's the major question they have is, how do you find that purpose of meaning in life? And again, we just, as Virginia said, we do find happiness in helping other people and just being human. I wanted to tell my viewers out there the little story that I gave you probably 2 or 3 episodes ago. I think the title of the message was A Christian Encounter, and it involved me with some dialogue with one of the many Christians who are out there with Virginia and our group, the Helping the Homeless, the Atheist group. But I've discussed these topics with many wonderful people down under the bridge in downtown Austin. And the majority of the people out there, of course, are the Christian groups. But I do want to say one thing. I've been helping and going out there under the bridge periodically for a while now, even before I stumbled across Virginia and the group. I didn't know there was a group of atheists, fellow atheists and humanists that were out there doing it. So I used to go out there by myself, and I would go out and just talk to people and I would bring fruit, a bag of oranges or apples or whatever, and I would go help the Christian groups. And that was a good way just to help other people, of course, and have good dialogue with Christians. But I will say this, that some of the Christians out there, when I went and talked with you and the other groups that were non-atheistic, that were Christian, many of them were very pleased that I was helping, even though they knew I was an atheist, and some were not very pleased and happy with me. I don't know if it shook their faith, the foundation of their belief system could be shaken so much that others could actually be moved with compassion for other human beings without any God belief. But it does happen. But what I want to say is, after helping some of the Christian groups, giving out food to the needy homeless people, when I've connected with Virginia and the others, with the Atheists Helping the Homeless group, there's really no comparison. And I've noticed some of the Christians that I've talked to previous weeks were kind of coming around taking little notes like, maybe we should do that and that. So I hope what Virginia and the other women do and other people do are an example to the other groups to give not just maybe donuts or coffee. Hey, it's good. Thank you for doing that, you other groups. But the group that Virginia's with and helps give out toiletries, clothing, which is very necessary, and of course, food for survival for other human beings who are less fortunate. And that's what we try to do. This work of humanism is helping humanity, making positive changes in this world without a God. So Virginia, what is the next step? Where do you think that the Atheists Helping the Homeless here in Austin is moving into? What's our next step, and what do you see the future for this group?
Well, we're hoping to have more behind-the-scenes people over time to make the organization bigger than it is now, and not necessarily just to make it bigger, but to help more people.
Right.
People are always asking, how can we start this group down in the South, because we can't come up to you? And our only response is you just kind of take it out there, find a place and a need, and fill it. So from that, we are, hoping to get nonprofit. It's a process, but finding people to help us out with that, and to a lot of us have grand ideas to maybe do housing, to help with housing in Austin. I know a group up in Dallas who the person that runs it really wants to do more, and she wants to do housing. And that inspired me, like, wow, how could we ever get to that level? And that takes just extreme organization and corralling people and to keep people motivated to want to do more. But for now, we just want to do what we're doing and sustain it well, and to do it well, and to listen to the people we serve on a Sunday. And it's important to fulfill the things that they desire also.
Yes.
So, like one request, this deodorant chafes my arms and it gives me a reaction. Is it possible to get a different deodorant? And everyone is different. We listen. We always listen.
Yes.
So, to keep people understanding that these individuals are not one group. They are a group of individuals.
Yes.
And we need to treat them as such.
Yes.
And not all of them are homeless. That not all of them look like someone who is homeless. There's a stigma to that, and knowledge, to put out more knowledge about this community, about our organization, and just to keep it going. So that's our future, just to keep it running and hope we're doing well by the people that we serve.
Beautiful.
So.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Making this world better every day and trying to help other people. I don't know if some of you, my dear Christian friends and my viewers here, have maybe never attempted to go out and do this type of work. It's very rewarding when you go out there. And I'm sure Virginia has many more stories than I do with this, but not all the people under the bridge, and not all these needy people that are homeless are the type of people that many of our conservative people, socially conservative people, always make comments and say, well, they're just lazy, or maybe they're just moochers and they're trying to live off of the government, or trying to live off the compassion and empathy of other individuals. But that's not always true. There's a good mix of individuals. I've had some talk with many of the homeless people under the bridge. I've listened to their stories. I'm sure Virginia's got many more stories than I do with these people. These people, they're human beings like us. And it's interesting, when you get the humanistic worldview, you begin to say, like Thomas Paine's famous quote again, my country's the world, my race is human, and my religion is to do good. You begin to see the world in a different way. My evolutionary psychology, my change from fundamentalist Christianity to atheism and humanism over 20-something years ago, the God thing didn't take me long to figure out, but it was this, the political change, where I stood socially. It took me many more years to go from that extreme fundamentalist conservatism over to more of a progressive liberal, which I identify myself as now. And when you begin to study human nature, the understanding of human nature and the achievement of the rational life is another chief source of happiness. And when you begin to study human nature, and you become more of a well-read individual, once you leave religion, you start reading and studying, you begin to see that we're all the same. Human beings are human beings. And when you see people that are needy under the bridge and they're homeless, they need dignity. People deserve dignity. They deserve compassion. When you hear the stories of these people, they're not all lazy. They're not all moochers. They're not all on drugs. Some may be. But many of them need help. We're not going to sit back and allow these people to starve to death. We need to get out there and help other people. We that believe more in egalitarianism or utilitarianism or whatever I try not to get into politics too much, but this is all about helping the needy. So Virginia, is there anything else that you want to add to our talk today? Maybe you could go ahead and give some contact information if you like, or maybe the people that would be interested in helping out.
Yeah. Everyone is welcome. Our name says Atheist, but we have many people who help, so all are welcome. Check out our website, Austin ATXAHH.com, and any questions or concerns, ATXAHH@gmail.com. We have a warmth drive going on, collecting coats and warm items, used or new. And then, of course, the toiletries. We continue to collect those also through all year long. Hand warmers, so many things that just make a person's day go a little bit smoother, even if it is for just a few more days. We have an Amazon wish list. You can find that as a link on the website if you are not in the local area. We have had donations from across the United States, even in the Dominican Republic, someone has donated. So we have that going on, the warmth drive. So we've had Girl Scouts go out and collect from their communities to make it a service project. So we love to promote philanthropy within our schools, and I've signed off on service hours for Girl Scouts and other organizations, and so we're happy to help with that. And yeah, that's
Beautiful.
Generally everything you can find on our website. And if you have any questions, just give me an email, so you'll be talking to me.
Very nice, very nice. All right, well, I think our time is up. We've had a wonderful time this morning with Virginia Miller, and I want to thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Open yourself up and explain to my viewers that there are many of us that label ourselves and identify ourselves as humanists. People that really don't believe in the supernatural, but we want to help and all we can for society and those that are in need. So thank you very much for coming. And I want to thank you viewers for watching the Preaching Humanist with David Oliverio, that is I. Remember, to be good and to be a kind, loving person does not necessarily mean you have to believe in a God. So remember, the good life is guided by reason and motivated by love. You have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time on the Preaching Humanist with David Oliverio.